At the start I was like, oh, I hope none of my mates see me doing this. Capture the footage, get it. At the start it was very raw. There's always been pressure for me to change the Palmer's format, and it probably will be changing soon. It's nothing to do with money, it's nothing to do with trying to get more views. In fact, it's probably going to get less views because I'm going to be producing less.
So this is a new strand for me.
Yes.
This is something I've wanted to do since I've started the channel.
Am I the first?
You're the first, mate.
Thank you.
I very much appreciate you being the first, mate.
Cool.
And do you know what, you're a good person to start with, because what I want to kind of do with this is talk about the process of you making content, the process of you living the life that you lead right now. As someone who's been there from the start, you're there right now. This is your job, making videos and putting them on YouTube. How do you feel like YouTube's changed?
It's a monster, isn't it? A money-making machine. You think we earn money from it, but it's very small percentages. YouTube are turning over God knows what sort of money. But yeah, in the beginning it was just a place that you put your cat videos up.
How far has it changed? And well, what are the good things that have happened, and what are the bad things that you're seeing in YouTube now?
I don't think there's bad things about it, because I think if you're going to ask this question to anyone, people will be like, oh, Logan Paul, it's terrible. When it's an open platform for anyone to jump on, you're going to get some idiots. I don't like the fact that your well-known celebrities are now jumping on with channels and then getting recommended ahead of people that have been there years and grafting. They've already got
Whitehall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. James Corden.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I mean, I love those guys. I think they're brilliant at what they do.
Yeah,
but to come onto our platform, do they need to? Well, they've seen how good it is. So that's a compliment to maybe us as creators for showing them that this is a really good place to showcase yourself. And that's what it used to be called, YouTube Broadcast Yourself, before they took that tagline away, and then it became about money and advertisement and the partnership with Google, and that's how YouTube partnership came about, which I was one of the first to be in the UK, which was quite a big thing. I remember at the time the viewers were like, oh, you're selling out, and I was like, well, if I can make money from, you know, not prancing around on the camera, just doing what I love, then why, you know, no one would turn that down, surely.
Yeah, well, I guess, so that's the thing, isn't it? You kind of, it's unashamed now, the money aspect of it, the understanding that's brand deals and all those things.
In the beginning, it was a very, oh, no. And I remember there were people in the UK in that community, because there was a very tight-knit community at the start. Everybody knew each other. And there were certain creators saying, oh no, I wouldn't do that to my audience, I wouldn't sell out.
And what were you one of those? How did you navigate it?
Oh, I was like, yeah, I'll get on it.
Give me some money.
Well, at the time, I was working for Apple, and I was part-time because I wanted a career in video, and I didn't know whereabouts in video, but I had a little camera, and I was going around making crappy little music videos for, you know, kids that wanted a rap career.
I remember you've told me about the early videos on YouTube. There was some Sinatra.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that was just me miming to a camera. That was actually my first video.
Yeah.
My first ever video on YouTube was me miming to a camera, and that was just me grasping video editing. This was before I had a camera. I just had a little Mac with an iSight webcam, and you could record yourself, and you could do stupid stuff, and you can make it black and white and grainy, and I was like, wow, I can edit. So that's what I did, and I just put a Frank Sinatra song over the top. I love a bit of Frank, and thought I'd show someone, and the only person I could think was my mum. I couldn't send the file because it's too big, so I emailed a link, and then 20,000 people also saw it.
What's that moment like when you kind of, so for anyone who's like thinking of...
I was embarrassed.
Really?
I was thinking, oh God, because at the start I was like, oh, I hope none of my mates see me doing this. And I made that one private quite quickly. But then the comments on that video, I was like, oh, do more. So I did another one. But then I didn't want to be known as this kid that mimes over Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. When you talk about niche, having a niche, that's like, as someone who just kind of started a channel, I've looked at videos, and a lot of the people that kind of talk about tips, they go, find your niche, find the niche. And for you, that niche initially was Palmer's. How did Palmer's become big?
Fast forward to 2013, it would have been, I just missed my friends. We didn't see each other too much. And the only way I felt that we could, you know, regularly meet up and, you know, have a laugh would be to start a Sunday League football team. Yeah, long story short, we all come together, we played a season, came third that year. It was a good year, we had a good old laugh. And during that year, my missus, she got really ill. And I wasn't doing YouTube as a thing at the time, and Palmer's wasn't being recorded.
Yeah.
But I was working at Tesco as a video producer in-house. It wasn't working, and they had a lot of account issues. I'd just joined, so last in, first out, they had to be seen to make cuts. And I got a really nice payout for working there 2 months.
Nice.
So Christmas was sorted.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on this money.
Vouchers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I was sitting on this money, lump sum of money, and I was like, right. She was ill at the same time. Everything just aligned, and it wasn't a good thing. It wasn't a positive thing that she was ill, but what it meant is I couldn't do any work. Whilst Sharon was ill, my missus, I was looking after her. I had this money to sit on, and I thought, right, I've got a time where I need to actually do something with this, or use this money to sit on and make something of this production company.
Yeah.
So I come up with the idea of using my old YouTube channel, which at the time had 7,000 subscribers on it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to film our Sunday League games. I was like, well, 7,000 people are still subscribed. If I put a video out, maybe they'll see it. And if I sponsor this team, so they were called Palmer's, it was always Palmer's. If I sponsor Palmer's and put that logo on there, it could be great advertisement for my video production company. So I was just like, all right, let's do it.
Right.
I took a spare camera over there on a Sunday, filmed the game, and I was like, well, that's a bit boring. Let me put a little bit of commentary over the top of it, put it out there, and the team loved it.
So then it just kind of gained traction, did it?
It wasn't until halfway through, so it was the second season, and we had a game where everything just aligned perfectly that day. So the night before we went out for a quiz night, got completely pissed, drunk. Our manager at the time was getting naked and stuff, and he was still drunk the next morning. He substituted him, like he was substitute, he wasn't going to start. And we were losing 1-0. One of our players gets injured, he has to go on, there's no other way. We catch the whole, him getting changed and stuff. And he comes on and equalises. It's like Sunday League football. Like,
it's just,
it's perfect.
It strikes a nerve, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then after that, they went down to 10 men because one of the lads on their team decided to kick. But it wasn't like, normally you'd punch, you'd throw a punch or you push him or something like that. It was like a Muay Thai kick to the head.
I remember, yeah.
And we found out at the end he's actually a kickboxing champion.
Right.
And I said to him off the back of that, I said, I don't know if you've got a license or anything like that. I don't know but can we put that in the video? And he went, yeah, I want to see it. He's really proud of it. So I was like, oh, fine, okay. And thanks to him, that kick, not only the goal scorers that day shared the video, not only he shared the video, everybody shared that video because it was like, check out the kick.
Yeah.
The thumbnail, I made the kick, and it said Sunday League football, big kick. And that today, I think it's approaching 1 million views. This should be our first 1 million views on YouTube for a video. So
how many videos have you done now, do you think?
Over 500, 600 maybe.
What are the principles of your content that have made it work for you, that have allowed you to be successful? One of your principles, I would guess, is that it feels quite raw.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? What would you say your principles are?
We couldn't make it look like TV because we didn't have the money, we didn't have the cameras, and essentially it's just me. I'm doing the camera, and eventually we did find Andrew, who's one of our defenders' brothers, and he just likes doing it. He's a really big fan, he just loves being part of it, and to this day he still does it. But the principles of it, it was, at the start it was very raw, and then we started getting a bit of a fan base, and then other YouTube teams started coming up. But not only did other YouTube teams start coming up, they were bigger YouTube personalities.
Yeah.
And behind those bigger personalities was a different view on things. So they felt you needed GoPros, you needed them on the corners, you needed them in the goals, you needed them of a height, you needed this production.
From Bull Street's point of view, we've played some games because it's a market within the market of YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's getting bigger and bigger.
Massively.
Yeah. And it was how can we, again, people were trying to push it towards looking like TV. Can the ref have a GoPro? Can there be GoPros everywhere?
Yeah.
And that is a slog in itself.
Yeah.
But you've always stayed true to that halfway line position.
Nothing else. And there was that pressure when our viewers were like, oh, there's another team that we can watch as well. So they'd go and watch them, and we'd plug them as well. We'd be like, oh, this is cool, go and check them out.
Yeah.
And they would have something different, if not better than us production-wise. And the pressure came back to us. Oh, you need a GoPro, you need a drone. Get a drone. All right. Well, and we did. We got one day. Did it make a difference? No. It actually was a hindrance.
So what is the core? What is the core of the success of
capture the footage? Get one camera and get the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just get one camera that films the whole thing and make sure you get as much as possible. Sure, there's people on the sideline that get in the way time to time. What I've realised is that camera is almost the eyes of a viewer. So you are on the sideline with the rest of the people.
Yeah, so
and,
someone's in the
way.
way.
When someone goes down the line, you look, someone looks in front of you like, oh God, fuck's sake, okay, yeah. So that's just what happens. People get in the way.
The other thing for you is the commentary. Why do you think you're so good at the commentary? Why do you think people like that?
I don't think I am good at the commentary.
You must, yeah, but that's you are a commentator. Essentially.
No.
You
I never came into this, and I still to this day don't call myself a commentator. Because
that's the bulk of your week.
It is. And do you know why it's the bulk of my week? Because I take forever on it. I don't press record and go, right, welcome back to Sunday League Football, da da da, and then commentate. It's not a one-take thing.
Yeah.
Each individual clip, I go over 2 or 3 times, sometimes 5 or 6, sometimes 9 or 10.
Wow.
Because I want to put as much passion into each clip as possible.
But, which is interesting, because your style is actually, I would consider your style very laid back.
Yes. Yeah.
So what's give me a slightly passionate and then a really passionate, because I bet they sound exactly the same, don't they?
They probably do, yeah. Or if I've got an idea in my head of what I want to say, I'll mess it up, and then I'll do it again and again and again until it comes out properly. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not too sure what to say, but all I can say is this wasn't meant to happen. And it's at times like this you wonder, why did it have to come down to today? Why couldn't we have got the points earlier on in the season? We beat Chafford Park Athletics 7-0 last week, but we drew 4-4 with them early on in the season. Sparks, we drew 3-3, we was 3-1 up. I don't know, I guess that's just football. It's just a sad way to end the season, to come so close as well. It's annoying. I'm just gonna let this roll out now because I just can't be bothered to edit. But before we go, I just want to say thank you for your support, because you've been great this season, and we'll see you next season, I guess.
Go on, Connor. Have a dig! Yes!
Yes! Yes!
What hasn't worked? What content have you made that hasn't worked, and why hasn't it worked? It just hasn't worked somehow.
There was a couple of years ago, I had the idea of doing like a sticker book series. And I did 5 episodes. Can't remember how it worked, but they were answering questions that were. You remember the questions that were on the back?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
So I would ask the question, and they would actually. I set up a proper email, and people would send in the answers to those questions. Basically, it was a whole big mess.
Right.
And it didn't work because it gave me a lot of work to do.
What's your process in terms of keeping faith with something or going, right, enough?
5 videos.
5 videos. Yeah, is that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, there's things I've done. I've got my personal channel now with the vlog, and I mean, I'd love to have more viewers, but vlogs aren't for everyone, and I know that. But I think just as a diary for me and my friends to see what I get up to, I think it's just cool. And I don't really get the pressure of, it has to get 50,000 views. I just want to make that something to look back on.
Yeah, in terms of moving it forward, because I think in the last 6 months, a year, you have, like, you know, the Smiv channel, you've put a lot of work into that. On the road, you don't just turn up at these places. There's a lot of travel and work, and then 2 teams as well.
Yeah.
How have you found that? Was that kind of, what made you make that decision? Is it just a case of doing it, or you're going to get left behind a bit?
I'll start with the Palmers one. We doubled content. We had one on a Sunday, the extra, and then the actual game goes on the Monday. So 2 videos in 2 days.
Right.
And that was it on the channel. And then you'd wait a week and you'd go again, Sunday, Monday, Sunday, Monday. And the viewers and the audience knew that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important thing. If you're starting YouTube, get a schedule down and try and stick to it if you possibly can. With the Palmers doubling the content, so instead of 2 videos a week, it's gone to 4 now. So we have a Sunday and a Monday and a Wednesday and a Thursday as well. And I'm just constantly churning these videos out as much as possible. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Which has had a knock-on effect with my channel as well, because that for me, the Palmers is the priority, because that's where I earn most of my money.
Yeah.
The Smiv channel is something I want to grow, because when, you know, eventually, unfortunately, Palmers isn't going to last forever, sorry. But it's not, let's be honest, we're all the wrong side of 30, so it's going to be, yeah, unless we recruit and get more people, but then
Is that not the aim then, though?
I don't know, because I think all good things have to come to an end. I really do, and I think I've seen things in the past, like, go on, we'll keep going, and it's just not the same, and it dwindles out, and it's a shame it ends like that, but I'd like to end on a bang. I'd love to end on a bit of silverware and be like, right guys, we're done now. Take it like a film that you like, for example, and then they bring out number 2 or number 3, or in the Fast and Furious, number 20,
25,
whatever it is.
Exactly.
No, it's done.
Yep.
So, and I think people get attached to the characters in the team, and it's easy to create, you know, that buzz when you're all really good friends and
Yeah.
you've grown up. For me to recruit a load of guys that maybe Tottenham, Chelsea academy, yeah, great for them because they're getting the views and it's a great portfolio for them. But do I really have a good relationship with them? Are we going to get that camaraderie on the
Yeah,
camera?
and which is that's the essence, isn't it?
I think that's the most
That is,
important thing.
yeah,
I
exactly.
think people appreciate that we're all mates. We're not trying to.
There's a feeling to
Yeah.
Palmer Sunday League
Yeah.
because you have that yourself with your mates. Even if you don't play football, you've got your group of
Yeah.
lads and you dig each other out, but
Yeah.
you still really, ideally,
Yeah.
you still go to McDonald's on the way to pick them up and pick them up something because you love them.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of it. And I
Yeah.
guess, you don't want to lose
And
that.
I don't want to, yeah. And if we moved on and got those other personalities, I'm not saying I wouldn't get them at McDonald's, because, would we get that same vibe? I don't know. And that's not to say Palmer's is going to win. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to
But it
happen?
may be the title of the video.
Don't.
It's over.
It's done. Palmer's is finished.
This is a question I'm going to want to ask all these guys that I'm going to be interviewing for this. What keeps you up at night?
The next idea. New ideas.
New ideas.
The next thing. What's coming next? Yeah. So with Palmer's, just to go back to the last question, I thought Palmer's is loved by all these people. Let's give them more. But I didn't realise the work involved. I did actually, and I thought I could do it, and I can, but I'm burning out. I'm losing my hair. We're producing so much content that it's not giving people a chance to watch the older videos, and the views have dropped.
Right.
They've halved. So I'm not earning any more money. I'm
Right.
doing double the amount of work, but earning the same amount of money.
So again, you're in that situation now. So like, how long do you keep faith with something
Exactly.
like that, and how?
Yeah.
Because there's that balance, isn't there? That must be difficult for all YouTubers that get a big audience. Is losing it.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's a YouTube thing at the moment. Views are just down. So it didn't really dishearten me too much. At the end of the day, I've got to earn a check at the end of it. So what other people are doing, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
As long as I'm earning my money to get by, to be able to keep producing this content. There was a week where the reserves didn't have a game. So only one video went up that weekend, 100,000 views.
Really?
It gave people a chance to see it. So, yeah. But
So I guess the learning there is that you are always learning with this thing.
Exactly,
You don't crack.
there's no
YouTube.
way of, yeah. Well, I went to a YouTube thing a while ago. The algorithm's just a made up thing, apparently.
Oh really?
It's just all made up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Cracking the algorithm, and then it said, what algorithm?
So when On the Road became successful, because it started off kind of steady,
Yeah.
it wasn't like that viral hit and then you're fine and then off you go.
Mm.
It did take a little while to kind of pick up those views, and now it's a really strong one for you.
Yeah.
As someone who is a big YouTuber, was the initial emotion like relief that you found something else?
100%. Yeah. I thought my niche was Sunday League and I'll never be able to break it. But all
How does that feel? How's that feeling of like?
Oh yeah, it's good because I rely on a lot on there to be Sunday League games, and I rely a lot on the players to be there, and I rely a lot on the team to be going. So when or if it does go, which is something that's always playing on my mind, when it goes, what am I going to do? So this is what I'm doing the second channel for. This is why I'm building something for the future. I literally just took the commentary that I would do from a Sunday League game and whacked it over the top of a game that I actually just attend. And the last thing I wanted to do was go to a game with a camera. Oh, got my camera here. Last thing I wanted to do was sort of sit in the crowd and do this and go, right, oh yeah, Lincoln have just gone 1-0 with the crowd behind me, and
Yeah.
they'd be like, piss off, mate.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And people do that, and I applaud them for doing that, because I really struggle to walk down the street with this going, so I'm on my way to Ball Street doing this and that. It would be easier if I just did this.
Like you feel much safer in that
Yeah.
world, don't you?
In my head, I'm like, right, oh, there's a guy down there. What's he doing? So I'll just keep filming him. And then when I get home, I realise the bigger shot, there's someone else there as well. Like the other week, there was 2 security guards, and I just made up a conversation about it. It went down really well. People loved it. So, yeah, I just see things. I just film as much as I can in and around the ground and make a little story about it.
So what you've learned here with On the Road is that it's not all about Palmer's. Like I know you won't want to do this, but it is you. It's your outlook. It's your outlook on what you're seeing, interpreting it in a funny, quirky way.
Yeah, yeah.
I want it to be about the content, but I want people to be able to take stuff away from it. So for someone who's been able to have that success, what is the essence of what has worked for you? Because it can't just be Palmer's.
No. Well, yeah. Palmer's has given us a platform for me to showcase a little bit more. Because I could be doing the On the Road videos on 1,000 subscribers, and it might not be appreciated. So in
Maybe,
one
maybe.
respect,
That's a good point.
yeah. So, but then
And that's maybe gives people belief to kind of, you need to be doing it as much as it's for views or possibly a career down the line. Like there's a long way to go for you to get to that point.
Yeah.
So you do have to do it for your own creativity and
yeah,
enjoyment, right?
I think if you have an idea and you have a way of executing it, stick with it as well, because there's, like I say before, there's always been pressure for me to change the Palmers format, and it probably will be changing soon, just because of I want to keep the 2 teams, but I can't do all those videos a week.
Yeah.
So there may be a change in the format, but there'll still be commentary, and there'll still be a game for you to watch. But it just means I might have to combine the 2 and intertwine exclusive. But yeah, I think if you find a format, stick with it, and if people don't like it, they'll sod off. But people that do like it, they'll stick around. Yeah, I think if you keep changing things up, that's when people are like, oh,
Make your mind up.
yeah. So, I mean, we've been using the same music since 2005. Because every time I change the music, every time I think, oh, it's time to change the music on the second half.
Let's freshen it up.
Every time I change, music's crap. So people just know, like, people just like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to change. And that's what I'm scared of when I do get this format going. It might be the end of it, to be honest, who knows.
But again, I guess you'll have to use those same principles. You'll have to stick with it.
There'll be, yeah, I'll be taking the principles that's made it what it is. I don't think it'll change too much, but there will be a slight change, if you get what I'm saying, unfortunately. But that's just the way.
What is the change?
And it's nothing, and believe me, it's nothing to do with money. It's nothing to do with trying to get more views. In fact, it's probably going to get less views because I'm going to be producing less. So we spoke beforehand. I'm a grown man. I'm moving into my own house. I'm getting on the mortgage ladder, having a baby. So my time is going to be really taken up, and I know now at this situation, I struggle to produce 4 Sunday League videos a week, plus my vlog, plus and on the road. It suffers. So I need to condense it a little bit.
And you're only going to have one arm now.
And I'll only have one arm.
Because you'll have a baby.
And maybe a lost voice after I've been screaming at it.
Say YouTube continued for another 16 years.
Yeah.
How would you feel about it? The bub, being a YouTuber?
It's strange, isn't it? Because you might have seen this or heard about this, but when kids are asked what they want to be when they grow up,
They're all saying YouTubers now.
which is weird.
It's so odd.
It's
I
really
always find that
strange.
weird. So when I got this job, so when I was 18, this job didn't exist. So I never knew what I felt was possibly a
Wanted to
dream
do,
job
yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
So there could be some weird. Like,
What did you want to be when you was younger? Like, what did you want to be at? Like,
I wanted
we're
to
talking
be-
like 6 years
I
old.
wanted to be a football commentator.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my mum was always talking about being you should be a sports presenter. And
So
I
you've,
kinda
in a
went away
way,
from
you've
it and then came back to it.
yeah. So in a way, you've kind of made your way into. I wanted to be a footballer. That didn't happen. But I'm so glad that I found. It's weird how I've just fallen into a hobby that. And then I've just gone down a route of football. I'm only going to make football videos, and it's gave me a career out of it. It's great,
Weird like that. You
but
find
it's
your
the
way.
next best thing, I think. If
Yeah.
I'm going to get paid, if I'm not going to get paid to play football, I might as well get paid to talk about it or be part of it in some way, shape, or form, whether it is on a crap Sunday League football pitch.
Yeah. Well, people love watching your videos. They love watching
Thank you.
Smiv. They love watching Palmers FC, and I hope it goes on for many more years.
Fingers crossed.
Good luck with the baby, mate.
Oh,
Smiv's going to be a dad. Let me know your thoughts on Smiv and his process, the content that he makes, and why you think it's so great. If you've enjoyed this video, then hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, then why not hit subscribe? And God, if for some mad reason you've watched me but you haven't watched Smiv, head over to his channel and subscribe to him.
Thank
He
you
might get like
much.
five subscribers there. That's yours for free.